Okay, so let's begin. We are going to launch Xcode and create a new Xcode project. I'm going to use augmented reality app, of course. Click next, and this is going to be called Bolt. And next, create. Let's make this big. Let's use my phone. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to clean this up as usual. Okay, there we go. Let me actually make this a bit bigger as well. Right. Okay, so from this, what we are going to do is to create a new function in here that's going to be called create bolt. And I'm going to call this straight away in the view load, so create bolt. All right. Okay, so first thing we need to do is to create a Bezier path. So Bezier path. Then we need to create a geometry for it using the Bezier path. Actually, geometry is going to be an SCN shape. And then once we've got this shape, we create a node, and then we position the node. Let me come here. We position the node and add to the scene. Okay, so let's start here by creating our Bezier path. So if you have your little pen and paper and your graph ready on the side, this is where it's going to be useful. So first we create an empty path, UI Bezier path. So let path equals UI Bezier path, which we initialize with nothing, and then we can start to move our path to the first point, which is point A. So if we say path dot move to, and here we've got our CG point. Right, so our first point here is going to be X and Y, so we've got 1 and 5. Now remember that in SceneKit, this would mean 1 meter and 5 meters. So what I'm going to do is to divide all of this by 10. I'm going to do 0.1 and 0.5. Okay, so there we go. We have our first point. And once we have our first point, we can start drawing lines between all our points. So path dot add line to another point. So this would be from point A to point B, which means that we are going to 1, 1. So our point here is going to be 0.1 and 0.1. Okay, and then we just go all around. So let me just do this quickly. Okay, so now that we've got all our points, we can close the path. So path dot close, and this is our Bezier path completely done now. So what we can do now is to create our geometry from this. So let shape equals an SCN shape. And here you will see that we have this construct, which is using a Bezier path and the extrusion depth. So guess what? We just use our path, and here for the extrusion depth, I'm going to do 0.2, so that's going to be 20 centimeter. And that's pretty much all you need to do. So then this shape can have colors and everything. So what we can do here is to say let color equals, so I'm going to use the color literal, double click, and then here I'm going to use other and use this yellow here. Cool. So then we can pass this on to our shape. So shape, SCN shape, comes from SCN geometry. So every time, everything you did to modify your geometries, you can use it for your SCN shapes as well. Which means that we have shape dot first material dot diffuse dot contents equals color, just the same way as we did for boxes and everything else. Right, that's pretty much all we need. So, but if we want to go a little bit further, what I can do is to add some chamfer radius. So that's going to make the edges a bit rounder, and I'm going to use 0.1 and we'll see how this looks. Right, now we can from this create our node, and this node is going to be called let bolt node equals SCN node, and here as usual we can pass a geometry, and our SCN shape is a geometry. So here I can pass my shape, and finally here I'm going to say that my bolt node dot position dot z is going to be equal to -1. So that means that when we launch the app, the bolt is going to be 1 meter in front of us. And in the end, what we can do is to add to the scene. So scene view dot scene dot root node dot add child node, and the child node that we are adding is obviously the one we just created, which is our bolt node. Great. Let's run and see how this looks. And there we go. Our bolt is in front of me, and you can see how there is some extrusion, etc. Unfortunately, we have not added any light here, so I'm going to show you how to do this in just one line of code in order to make this look much better. Okay, so almost there. The only thing we need to do is here in our scene view. What we can do is to ask ARKit to manage this for us. So what we can do is auto enable default lightning and set this to true and run again. Okay, so here we go. We have our bolt. If I come closer, you can see the extrusion depth. The chamfer radius might be slightly too much here. That's not exactly what I wanted to make, but it actually looks all right. I'm happy with the results. You can start tweaking, obviously, the extrusion depth or the chamfer radius or anything you want. All the measurements and everything I've done is quite arbitrary, really, but you know, it's up to you to make this look as you want. You now have the theory to build pretty much any 3D shape from a 2D shape. There you go. Hope you enjoyed this, and see you in the next section.